Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my Week 15 Thursday Night Football predictions between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the injury report. Starting off with the players who are out for this game, which is Keenan Allen, the wide receiver, with a heel injury, and cornerback Dean Leonard with an ankle and heel injury. And then we go on to the questionable players, who are Amen Ogbonbenjima. Okay, definitely said that wrong somehow. Otito Ogbonia, by the way, the other guy who was a linebacker, had a hamstring injury. Otito had a knee injury, and he's also questionable. Donald Parham is the other player with a questionable status, as he suffered a shoulder injury. He is a tight end. The players who are currently unknown at this time that I'm recording this video: Gerald Everett with a hip injury, Justin Hollins, linebacker, with a knee injury, Zion Johnson with an ankle injury, the guard, defensive tackle Sebastian Joseph Day with an ankle injury, Kenneth Murray, linebacker, with a shoulder injury, Josh Palmer with a knee injury, and we also have defensive tackle Nick Williams with a shoulder injury. Now, as we know, Keenan Allen and Dean Leonard will not be playing. Out of the three players that I think will not be playing, I think Donald Parham will be also listed as out when the game comes. But you never know. But this injuries is going to be kind of difficult for the Los Angeles Chargers. They have not been doing well, and honestly, their head coach might get fired this year, because honestly, I don't think he's been doing that great of a job, even though they went to the playoffs. But in the end, both injuries and sort of bad coaching is the reason why this team is not doing too well, and the injuries will harm them against the Raiders. Now, moving on to the Chargers offense, starting off with the quarterback. Easton Stick will be starting at quarterback with Max Duggan as his backup quarterback. Justin Herbert is out for this game. And then we go on to Austin Eckler with the running back position. Joshua Kelly will be his backup. Keenan Allen is out, so Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston, and Jalen Guyton will be starting at the top three wide receivers. Then we move on to Gerald Everett, who will be playing as a starting tight end, with Nick Vanette and Stone Smart backing him up. Then we go to offensive tackle. Left tackle will be Rashawn Slater. Right tackle will be Trey Pipkins. At guard, we got Zion Johnson and Jameer Reed Slayer. Slayer being the right guard, Johnson being the left guard, and the center will be Will Clapp. Now, as we all know, Justin Herbert ain't going to be playing in this game. He was placed on injury reserve with a finger injury, which honestly is the best choice of action when it comes to your quarterback. But regardless, he is out for this game. Stick will be playing, which will give more of an advantage to the Raiders, as I do believe Stick is not as good of a quarterback as Justin Herbert. But Austin Eckler, Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston, and Jalen Guyton will keep them in game, maybe even Gerald Everett. But as long as they got a decent offense, I think that they could actually put up a fight against the Raiders. Now, moving on to the defense, we got defensive ends Nick Williams and Austin Johnson on the right side and Williams on the left. Defensive tackle or nose tackle will be Sebastian Joseph Day. Then we get to the left inside linebacker, Eric Hendrick, and right inside linebacker, Kenneth Murray. Strong side linebacker will be Khalil Mack, and Tuli Tupulotu will be the starting weak side linebacker. Then we get to cornerbacks, Asante Samuel Jr., and Dean Lowry can't go, so it's going to be either Isang Basie or Jasir Taylor on the other side, with Derwin James at strong safety and Aloy Gilman as the free safety. This defense is going to have a little bit of a problem. As we all know, Bosa will not be playing in this game either, So that's always a downside. Khalil Mack is still there. There could be a chance that Khalil Mack is going to be a very good opportunity for the Chargers to win this game against the Raiders. But in the end, I think that this is going to hamper them, not having their best pass rusher, not having one of their best cornerbacks on the field. It is going to hamper them in the pass game and in the pass rush game too. But in the end, I think that they could, in fact, put up a fight. The Raiders aren't as good this year as, well, other Raiders teams in the past. And honestly, I think that this team's going to have a chance, but it all comes down to the wire, in my opinion. Now let's move on to the Las Vegas Raiders, where the players who are out for this game are center Andre James and offensive tackle Colton Miller. James had an ankle injury and Miller had a shoulder injury, while the questionable players are Adam Butler, defensive tackle with an ankle injury, Max Crosby with a knee injury, the defensive end, the defensive back Brandon Facyson with a shin injury, Josh Jacobs with a quad injury, that running back, and then we get the wide receiver with an illness, Devontae Adams. Then the players who are unknown for this game is Curtis Bolton, linebacker with a groin injury, Panay Mauga, inside linebacker, and with a knee injury, and we also got Keem Robertson with a wrist injury. Now, if I'm not mistaken, actually, Mauga might be on injury reserve. I am not 100% sure about that, but it might be. But in the end, I think that this is going to harm them if they don't have Crosby, Jacobs, or Miller, or even their best wide receiver, which in my opinion is Devontae Adams. Or at least maybe Hunter Renfrow could do something, but without a player like Miller, Jacobs, or Crosby on the team for this game against the Chargers, it's going to be very tough for them to win this game against the LA Chargers offense and defense. Now, moving on to the offense, we got Aiden O'Connell as starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo his backup, Josh Jacobs is the starting running back, and if he cannot go, Amir Abdullah will take over, and Zamir White and Brandon Bolden will be taking over as well as backup running backs. Then we go on to wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Meyer, and Hunter Renfrow. If Adams cannot go, then most likely either Hunter Renfrow or Jacoby Myers will take over, with either DeAndre Carter or Trey Tucker or even DJ Turner moving in as that third wide receiver. Then we move on to tight ends. The rookie Michael Mayer will be starting at tight end with Austin Hooper behind him. Then we get offensive tackle, left tackle Colton Miller. If he cannot go, Justin Herron will take over. Then we go on to right tackle Jermaine Elumamunor. Okay, not saying that, but it's there, right there at the bottom if you want to read it. Then we move on to guards. Dylan Parham will be starting at left guard and Greg Van Roten at right guard. And Andre James is most likely out for this game. As I stated, he will not play. So it will most likely be either Jordan Meredith or even Bayer Munford as the starting center for this game. Now, without their starting center, it is going to be difficult to stop Sebastian Joseph Day. So unless Van Roten and Parham can help out the new center, then I don't see a way for the Chargers defense not to be penetrating that, at least in the nose part of it. Because honestly, if I was the Chargers, I'd be sending blitzes on that new center every single time. Send in either Murray or Eric. Most likely Murray, I believe. I think he would be a great option at blitzing every single time right there at that spot, making sure that Joseph Day and one of the two linebackers are just pressuring the quarterback. Bull rush and then in a blitz. That's what I believe that they should be doing. And honestly, the Raiders do have an opportunity for this to turn out on their side if Andre James's replacement is not going to do a bad game. Because honestly, if the game is horrible on his side, then bye-bye Las Vegas Raiders. Now moving on to the defense, defensive end on the left side, Max Crosby. If he cannot go, Tyree Wilson, the rookie, will take over. The defensive end on the right side, we got Malcolm Kuntz, and defensive tackles are Jerry Tillery and Bilo Nichols. Then strong side linebacker is Luke Masterson, and weak side linebacker Divine Diablo, and middle linebacker Robert Spillane. Then we got cornerbacks Arik Robertson and Nate Hobbs. Strong safety will be Marcus Epps, and Trevon Moore-Rigg will be starting at free safety. Now, the Raiders are going to have a tough time on defense against this Chargers run game. I think Easton Stick will not be doing as well as honestly Justin Herbert would. But in the end, I do believe that the Chargers could come out with the win only if the run game is especially good on the Chargers side. Because if not, then honestly, it's going to be a tough game without Justin Herbert. And honestly, I'm going to just say this. Unless they get some good wide receivers to throw to, which they kind of do. I think Johnson could be a so good wide receiver. But in the end, I think that if the Chargers don't get good on the run game, then I'm sorry, but it's sayonara for the Los Angeles Chargers. And the defense of the Las Vegas Raiders will take the win. Now, I'm thinking this game is going to be a win for the Raiders, 13-10. It's going to be a missed field goal that will end up not tying the game, and I think that either it's going to be a failed touchdown attempt, maybe an interception by the Raiders, maybe by Nate Hobbs or something. But in the end, it's going to be a Chargers choke, and it'll give the Chargers one step closer to getting rid of Brandon Staley, who should honestly be fired and replaced by someone else. And I think everyone in the NFL and all NFL fans agree with me on that. I might be wrong, but if I'm not wrong, then honestly, I do believe the fact that Brandon Staley, maybe give him a job as a coordinator again or something like that, maybe as a defensive coordinator. But in the end, some of these coaches are not meant to be NFL head coaches. For example, Josh McDaniels, who failed in Denver, and honestly, you've all seen what he's done in Las Vegas. But in the end, he was a very good offensive coordinator both times he was with the Patriots. But every time he left to be a head coach, he was a failure. I think that that's the same thing with Dan Quinn, the same thing with other coordinators turned head coaches. I think that they were better at one position rather than being the head coach. And honestly, I'm not saying that they can't be great head coaches. Maybe it's just sometimes just the team. But in the end, I do think that the Chargers will lose this game by 3, and it will go down to the wire. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think will win and who do you think will lose? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.